Congregants of Masjid Al-Aman, leaders from different community organizations, churches, temples, synagogues, businesses, our tenants and landlords, neighbors, public school, especially PS 214. Thank you all for reaching out to us. Thank you for your presence. Thanks to all print and electronic media for your hard work. Respected elected officials, dignitaries, members of NYPD, thank you all for being with us. Thank you for being with us, with our parents. Thank you for being with the parent who lost their son, for the wife who lost her husband, for the 4-year-old boy who will not be able to get a response when he calls daddy. Thank you all for being here. I feel for that boy who cannot get a response when he calls daddy ever again. Now the program will start. I'll ask Brother Anwar to moderate from here. He'll introduce our Imam, inshallah.
Jazakallah, Brother Kabir. We have our respected Imam. As you may know, our program always starts with the recitation from the Quran. So our Imam of our mosque, Imam Muhammad Ali, will recite verses of the Quran, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العظيم. Respected brothers and sisters, honorable brothers and sisters, you might say, we are not all Muslims. How can we be your brothers and sister? Actually, we all relate to, or our lineage goes back to single soul. We know that our original or the first person to be coming on earth is Adam, and his wife is Eve. We all relate to Adam and Eve. So in that sense, if you're Muslim, then you are my Muslim brother or sister. If you're not Muslim, then you are my brother or sister in humanity. The verse I read in this verses, Allah Almighty is reminding us that there will be tests. And through these tests, we get stronger. And through these tests, those are patient in this time of difficulty, in these hardships, they will be rewarded, and they will get the reward of Allah Almighty. And the next verse, Allah Almighty is describing who are the patient ones. The one who relies on Allah and who knows everything is from Allah Almighty. They are the patient. And the last verse that I read that says that the mercy of Allah Almighty descends on them, and they are the rightly guided people. And one more verse that comes to my mind. The Quran talks about killing people or hurting people. What Quran says? Quran says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, in Surah verse Ma'idah, that killing one innocent soul is like killing the whole or entire humanity. And saving one person is like saving the entire humanity.
That's right. Yes.
Chapter Ma'idah, verse number 'Yes. With that in mind, we can see that Islam is telling us that to be good to other people. And being good to one person is like being good to all the humanity. And being bad to a person is like being bad to other humanity. So we can understand from this that what kind of message and what kind of message Quran gives and Islam gives. And okay. And I'm thanking you all for coming. May God bless you. May God, Allah, bless this country. And the last thing that I would say, it's a time. We need to unite ourselves to fight against injustice, violence, so that we can make this area, safer, and also whole of America. Thank you very much for coming and giving your precious time.
Jazakallahu khairan, Imam. The program has officially started. We're going to practice on a couple of chants. Let us learn how to do that first. When I say who is Muddassir, all of us will say, all of us. Who is Muddassir? Who is Muddassir? Who is Muddassir? Next I'm going to say, where is Muddassir? You're going to say, in our hearts. Where is Muddassir? In our hearts. Where is Muddassir? In our hearts. Where is Muddassir? In our hearts. Very good. Thank you very much. Now, I am going to introduce one of the moderator. This is Masjid Al-Aman. Masjid Al-Aman is the center for our community. Brother Anwar Khan, he is none other than a very respected teacher, a youth who used to be a student at the center here. Now he is a teacher himself. He has children of his own. He is our advisor, one of the advisors of this of the center, Brother Anwar Khan.
Jazakallah, Brother Kabir. As you know that this gathering is not about introduction. It is not about titles. It is not about us. It is about justice. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Respected Imam, elected officials, NYPD chiefs, media officials, and community members. As I stand in front of you, I'm sure somewhere, somehow, an innocent victim has been shot or lost their lives due to illegal firearms and gun violence. A mother has lost a son or daughter. Children have lost a father or mother. Brother has lost a brother. Sisters have lost a sister. Less than 2 weeks ago, when we are barely recovering from the loss of two of our heroes, Officer Mora and Rivera, here we are mourning the death of our fellow brother, community member, Mudassir Khandokar. I don't know about you, but I have to say, if his 4-year-old child asks, "Where is my father? Why is he not coming back?" Just like you and I, he had dreams too. Who is going to support his family? What will happen to his child's future? Just like Mudassir, there are hundreds and thousands of victims within our neighborhood, our boroughs, cities, and states. They're all victim of this out of control gun pandemic. Did you know that, according to the Washington Post, in America, a child is shot every hour and hundreds die? In New York City, numbers of shooting victims ballooned 102%, 1,868 in 2020 from 923 in 2019. Since January 2022, 32 officers has been shot on the job. Looking at the statistics, to me, the issue of gun violence seems as deadly as the COVID-19 pandemic itself. These loss of lives are not just about stats and numbers. So instead of pointing fingers, we have to collectively, I repeat, collectively, together, the community, the citizens, the elected officials, and the NYPD has to work together. As citizens, we must not vote to re-elect politicians who belong to the pockets of gun lobbyists. Yes! We should research to see which one of them vote against gun laws. Yes! The bail reform disaster need to be rethought and modified. Yes! If not changed entirely. The city government must do a better job at controlling the homeless crisis. Yes. Yes. We must see more and more police presence in our neighborhood. Yes. And especially the subways also. Yes. Late at night. Yes. We should introduce programs such as collecting guns in return for incentives and bridge the gap between police and communities. We must also find ways to stop guns coming from other parts, other states. Doing these and much more, it will not bring back our lost brother Mudassir Khandokar, but it will certainly prevent another like him from this gruesome act, which I call a national failure. Yes. Yes. We have a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. I will let our elected officials, our NYPD officers, and everyone else speak. I pray that all of us can come together and collectively find solutions to this major crisis. Now, I'm going to introduce the Vice President of Masjid, Al-Aman. He is a prominent community activist, has been serving the community for years, and he's none other than our brother Kabir Chowdhury.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you again for joining the mourning communities of City Line, Ozone Park, a devastated family, and all of us seeking justice for the brutal murder of our brother Mudassir. We are in front of the biggest mosque in New York City, built from the ground. Everything in this community shapes surrounding our places of worship, this house of God and other masjids in the neighborhood. Mudassir used to pray in this masjid. Now I'm going to ask you to chant with me. Who is Mudassir? Who is Mudassir? Where is Mudassir? Where is Mudassir? I can't hear you. Where is Mudassir? Very good. This community had gone through many sacrifices to get here today. Among other things, Brother Muhammad Ahad, Brother Mizanur Rahman, a prominent journalist, Imam Alauddin Akunji, Tarauddin has been killed just because who we are, just because we are immigrants, just because we are minority, just because we are Muslims. But after that much sacrifices, that many years of dedications by our elders, on this Wednesday night, after a long day of work, our brother Mudassir had sacrificed the ultimate, his life, right in front of the safest place we called House of Allah, our Masjid, and in front of his doorsteps. He lived right across under the red canopy in that house we could see from here. We cannot let these lives and sacrifices go in vain. We must get better measures of protections, and inshallah we will prevail. We must have a satellite, this is our demand, we must have a satellite police post installed in masjid vicinities. We must have a satellite police post installed in the masjid vicinities. It has been too long, too many administrations coming in, going out, but we are still unsafe in our own homes, places of businesses, in our own places of worship. We demand joint resolution from our mayor's office and NYPD as soon as possible. Now, Mr. Mayor, you know many of us personally. We know you too. You have been in our communities. You have been in this masjid many times, and we need you to work now for Bangladeshi Muslim communities of Ozone Park and City Line that represents all of us right here, right now. Yes. We demand arrest for the murder. Yes. And we want justice immediately. Yes. We want justice. Yes. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Justice. When do we want it? Justice. One last time we're going to chant. Who is Mudassir? Who is Mudassir? Who is Mudassir? Where is Mudassir? Where is Mudassir? Where is Mudassir? This program did not just happen, it happened with many dedications. I know we're going to hear from elected officials and our NYPD representative and many community leaders. I'm going to name a couple of names. Brother Burhanuddin Kafil and Brother Nashir had contributed their time and with the youth to put it together. Let us all pray for each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Kabir. All right, let's keep it going. I want to thank you all for your cooperation. You guys have been a wonderful audience. Thank you everyone for your patience. We'll try to move as quickly as we can. So right now, as per the program, I'm going to introduce the next moderator. I'm going to introduce our next moderator. He is a community activist. He's the president of a nonprofit called ABCD. And he is another young, energetic activist. He will moderate the rest of the program, and he will have some important talk for you. All right, Brother Khairul Islam Kukon.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I can't hear you guys. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Justice!
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today at this important protest in recognizing of getting justice for Mr. Mudassir Khandekar. This tragic and devastating incident has stunned the City Line and Ozone Park and City Line Bangladeshi community, and the least we can do is gather together and support the fight for justice. Mr. Khandekar was a hard-working, loving husband, father, and son. His life was taken in such a way we cannot be silent. To be shot on the doorstep of your home, where you should feel your safest, has unfortunately become a reality in New York City. Gun violence is a leading cause of premature death in the U.S., with 38,000 people getting killed each year. Just yesterday, there has been reported nine shootings across multiple boroughs, and 2 of those were fatal. What will it take to put a stop to this outrageous behavior? President Biden has announced his plan to reduce gun crime and calls on Congress to fund community policing. Eric Adams also stated public safety is his highest priority and is adamant to remove guns off our streets to protect the community. We as U.S. citizens need to ensure that their words are 100% solid in fighting the daily gun violence hitting our streets. Mr. Khandekar family have a big hole in their lives now because of the fateful night. His parents have lost their son. His wife has lost their life partner. His son has lost their father. We as a community can stand strong together to help put an end to this huge injustice. Gun violence has to stop. It's time to put words into action. Again, to call upon NYPD Commissioner Kitchen Swell to come to the podium to say a few words. Yes.
Chief of Department Harp. Chief Harp.
Grace and peace be with all of you. My name is Assistant Chief Judith Harrison. I am the Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough, Brooklyn North. I first and foremost want to express my deepest condolences to the family of Mr. Khandekar, as well as his extended family. You know, as I look around, seems like a beautiful day. The sun is out, the weather is cooperating, but it's not a beautiful day. And it's not a beautiful day because once again, we are gathered together to wrap our love and to wrap our support around yet another family who has lost a family member to senseless gun violence. Shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. Public safety is a shared responsibility, and as I look around at everyone gathered here, I see that put into action. That's why we're all here. Yes. Public safety. Yes. What I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is that we stand with you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Not only do we want to serve you, we want to protect you, and we are here with you. The NYPD stands with you. Certainly the 75 precinct stands with you. The 102 precinct stands with you. We are here together. And together we are going to work with each other to eradicate senseless gun violence. No more. No more. And it's only when we work with one another that we can achieve common goals. We all want safety. And we don't want this to happen to another family. So once again, my pledge is to work not only with you, but for you. And let me tell you, the NYPD has the greatest detectives in the world. And these detectives will leave no stone unturned in terms of this investigation and finding the person or the people responsible for this heinous act. I assure you that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we are calling upon the family member, Brother Onik. Brother Onik Hondokar, please come to the podium. Brother Onik Hondokar. He is the younger brother of Mr. Hondokar. Onik Hondokar, please come to the podium.
Take his family.
Onik is here. Onik Hondokar, please come to the podium. Onik, please, yes. Please make some space. He is the younger brother of Hondokar. Onik Hondokar, please say a few words.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. On February 9th, my brother, Mudassir Khandakar, was shot dead. That what I know from NYPD, media, and everyone I know of. But I know with him alone, it's hard. It's hard. A mother's hope died. A father's courage died. I'm shaking.
It's okay, brother. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You're doing great. Take a deep breath.
A wife's life died. And the son's shadow died. And I don't know if the justice will be served or not. But I know one thing, God Almighty will not spare this criminal.
Yes. Yes.
If not in this world, I believe there must be in hereafter.
Yes.
At this time, I need all of your prayers and blessings for my brother. And I would also like to, and I also hope the NYPD do their thorough investigation on my brother's case.
Yes.
Yes.
And all the authorities that take this matter very seriously. I would like to thank the District Council, Ozone Park Association, NYPD Community Affairs, friends, family, Muslim brothers and sisters who came with the support in this time of grief. And would also like to show my gratitude to the community members of this masjid. Few members, I cannot go without mentioning their name. Uncle Nasser, Khair Islam Kokon Bhai next to me, Kabir Chaudhary, Anwar Khan, Sharifuddin, Detective Brother Amin from NYPD Community Affairs, Sister Shahana, Sister Majeda, and forgive me if I'm not able to mention someone's name, of course, Brother Misbah Bhai, and my brother next to me, Hilal Sheikh, of course, and every one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone, this is the son. This is the beautiful son of Kandahar. Imagine this young boy doesn't have a father now. How sad it is. We want justice! When do we want it? We want justice! We want justice! When do we want it? When do we want it? Look at this precious face. This young boy doesn't have a dad anymore because of this gun violence. Gun violence needs to end. Gun violence needs to end yesterday. We have to hold our elected officials accountable. They must change gun laws here in New York City and all across America. We don't want another life to be lost. Too many young lives are taken. Say no to guns, that's right. Now I'm going to call upon our deputy inspector, Rohan Griffith of the 75th Precinct, to come to the podium to say a few words, please. Captain Griffin from the 7-5.
Good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Inspector Rohan Griffith, Commanding Officer of the 75th Precinct. Also with me today, we have our commanding officers from the 102 Precinct, Deputy Inspector Antonio Fidecaro, and also Commanding Officer of the 106 Precinct, Captain Jerome Bacci. I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to express my sincere condolences to Mr. Kandakar's family and also to members of the entire Bengali and Muslim community. Everyone here in City Line, Ocean Park area that are extremely heartbroken by this tragedy that took place right here on this very block. Gun violence indeed must stop. It hurts my heart as a commander and as a father when any time a life is lost by gun violence or otherwise. It is always a tragedy. The one thing that I can assure you, your NYPD, your 75th Precinct, and the men and women that are assigned to it, as well as our detective squad, are right now doing everything humanly possible to solve this heinous crime. That I can assure you. We have a lot of representatives from our detective squad that are out there right now, and they have been since this took place, actively working the investigation to ensure that we solve this case. And I have full confidence in these men and women because they truly are the greatest detectives in the world. I also want to ensure you that your NYPD is going to do their part to make sure that you, the community, feel safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. That is our job. That is our responsibility. But as our very chief here, Chief Judith Harrison said earlier, that is certainly also a shared responsibility. We must work together, and we will work together to make sure that we don't have to get together for occasions like this. We want to get together for the joyous occasions, not for occasions like this. But it's tremendously important that when these tragedies do occur, that the community does come together. And the representation that I see in front of me, to my left and to my right, you are doing just that. The support that you're giving to the family, I have no doubt that they appreciate that. I thank you everyone for coming out today.
Thank you, Captain, for your great speech. We look forward to working with you closely. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Justice. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Justice. I can't hear you guys. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Justice. Now I'm going to call upon our Councilwoman, District 37, Sandy Nurse, to come and say a few words. Sandy Nurse, please make a brief statement. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Councilmember Sandy Nurse, and I represent this community in the City Council. And I just want to extend my deepest condolences to the community of City Line, to the Bangladeshi community here, and to the Muslim community here. You all have welcomed me into this community in the last 2 years, and I'm here because I'm standing with you, and I'm here to work with you through this tragedy. I'm here to stand with our community in memory of Mr. Kandakar and the loved ones he left behind. He was a beloved member of this community, of the City Line community. He was a hard worker and a family man. And this cowardly, senseless act of violence has stunned our community. Who is in her husband's jacket, surrounded by women who were just trying to be there to nurture her. Her tears and cries of anger and hopelessness and disbelief have replayed over and over in my mind over the last couple of days. She was looking forward to her citizenship test on Thursday. Oh my God. And looking forward to what that would mean for her family. And so throughout the last 2 days, I have felt myself thinking about how much we have a city have failed the entire family. So as a city in mourning, I know we need resources for healing and for support. I know we need an unprecedented level of resources for job opportunities, to get people off the streets and into permanent safe homes, for our youth to have a future to fight for, and for our mental health and health services and resources to be fully funded at capacity. We need our federal leaders to stop being cowards and to take action for gun reform. Yes. We need our state leaders to stop worrying about elections and start focusing on state gun reform. Yes. And most importantly, our Black, Latino, and South Asian communities have to come together in solidarity and support. Yes. We have to recognize that being against each other is only hurting us. And as a leader, I will be working to grow our cultural understandings within our communities, because this is the only way we are going to get through this. So my heart goes out to the family. I'm committed to being here to support them through this process. I am on call. The family has my direct line, and I will be here to stand with our Muslim community, our Bangladeshi community, and our wider citywide community. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for your great speech. We will definitely work closely with you. Now, I would like to call upon Deputy Brooklyn Borough President Diane Richardson to come to the podium. Diana Richardson, please. Diana Richardson, please come to the podium to say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. My brothers and sisters, I am Deputy Brooklyn Borough President Diane Richardson. I am here today representing our new Borough President, Antonio Reynoso. I want everyone under the sound of my voice to hear the power in it, to know that we are standing with you as you mourn the loss of our brother, Mr. Mandasir. As I am very empathic, as I've stood here today, I want you to know I feel your pain. I see the sorrow. And I want you to know that we are going to be doing everything in our power to ensure that justice is served. Yes. Gun violence has been wreaking havoc, not only just in Brooklyn, across this city and in the entire state of New York. Yes. I am calling on the Muslim and Bangladeshi community to stand with all of Brooklyn in unity. Yes. We together can eradicate gun violence. Yes. But we must be serious about what has to happen.
Yes. We want justice. We want justice. We want justice. We want justice.
And justice will be served with action. Yes. I want to echo the sentiments of Councilwoman Sandy Nurse, who spoke before me. Right now, as we are here, it is not a time to get into the details, but I assure you that there is work to do. There is legislation that has to be passed. There is money that needs to come into our district. It's one thing to say, put the guns down, but it's another thing to help people put the guns down. We don't want to lose one more life here in Brooklyn. So I say to all of you today, out of your pain will come a purpose. Justice will be served. And we are standing with you. We will cry today and we mourn today, but know that action will come in the future.
Thank you very much, Diana Richardson, for your great speech. Thank you again, Diana Richardson. Now I'm going to call upon our next speaker, Joanne Areola, City Council District 32. Joanne Areola, City Council District 32, please come to the podium. Please make it brief.
Everyone who came to the mic started with Assalamu alaikum. And I say the same. Because what this family needs, what the Kendall family needs, and what this community needs is peace. And that can only come from God. And we're going to rely on Him. But I want to tell you something else. You have elected officials here who really want to work to make sure the streets are safe. You want to make sure that we have less guns on the street. But we have a mayor, after 8 dangerous years of no plan to take guns off the street or put criminals in prison, we have a mayor who is committed in his blueprint to make sure he works with the federal government, the state government, and city governments to make sure that guns do not enter our borders here at New York State from other states, and make sure that those who commit violent crimes are prosecuted and incarcerated. We do need to help those with mental health issues. We have to put resources into this, but we also have to put resources back into our NYPD so that they can protect us, so that they can do the investigations they need. Today you have 3 precincts here, the 7-5, the 102, and the 106. 2 precincts have the honor of representing. And I will tell you, they will not rest until Mr. Kamatar and his family have received justice. Thank you. Now,
She is the first Bangladeshi Muslim councilwoman in City Council, Shana Ali.
Walaikum Assalam.
Thank you so much for being here to honor and memorialize the life of our brother, I'm sorry to be from the 39th district. I'm far from here, but I will always stand with this community and the neighbors here who mourn as for days and months to come.
We need to ensure that safety is our priority.
Yes.
That safety is our priority, and the responsibility does not just simply fall on our police officers. The responsibility falls on every single one of us who is here present this afternoon.
Yes.
Council members before me, our other elected officials and leaders have already said we must be committed to eradicating gun violence. I am committed to that every single day in this city and in my term. But what we must think about side by side is Khandakar's young son, his widow. I don't want this family left behind. Are we committed to supporting his widow and his son?
Yes.
Are you all committed to supporting his widow and his son?
Yes.
That is the commitment I want. I want to make sure that this son has an education as successful as possible. I want to make sure that he grows up with the resources that he needs, the resources that his mother needs. We need to be unified around this family. I want to thank the leaders this mosque for collectively gathering us. This cannot be the first and last time we gather. We must make sure that there's a task force or a community neighborhood set up where these conversations are happening frequently to ensure that every single block in this neighborhood is safe, that every single person in these homes feels safe coming out of their homes, taking the subway, going to work, coming back from work. We must be committed to that. As the first Bangladeshi and first Muslim woman council member, I am committed to being here, to coming out every single time that you need me. আমি সবাইকে বলতেছি, আমি আপনাদের জন্য কাজ করি এবং আপনাদের জন্য কাজ করব।
Thank you, Shana Hani, for your outstanding speech. We want to see many Bangladeshis in City Council in the future. Thank you, Shana Hanif. Now I want to call upon our next speaker. He does not need an introduction, but I will introduce him, the one and only Misbah Abdin, the president of Bangladesh. Misbah Abdin, please come to the podium to say a few words. Misbah Abdin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not, there's lots of elected officials, plus our NYPD said a lot of things. We're here for grief and ask for justice. And that's not at the same time the most important right now. I'm asking NYPD and elected officials. There's so much people who is there, so many people even left their job just to support here. People are scared in this neighborhood. We don't want another person to be shot and killed. Right now we need protection. We need more police officers. We need community policing. We need any resource he can give us. Instead of coming here saying lots of words, telling us, I know gun violence, it's a long way to go, but right now at present, people are scared in the neighborhood. We need more police officers in the neighborhood.
Yes.
That's all we need, and I'm gonna end right here. And I thank everybody for coming out, supporting Kandahar and supporting our mission and goal and concern of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abdin, for your great speech. Now I'm going to call upon Jennifer Rajkumar, Assemblywoman, District 38. Jennifer Rajkumar, please come to the podium.
Assalamu alaikum. Murasar Kandakar, Jittu, our brother, hardworking,
And this camera too.
worked every day at JFK International Airport, helping people with disabilities. His hardworking wife, Tawhida Islam, beloved by the community, hardworking, contributing to our community every day. Our hearts grieve to know that he was killed in this very place. This is not how his life was supposed to end. I pray for Tawhida Islam. I pray for strength. For her, I pray for her 4-year-old son. I pray for justice. I pray for our city. We will be with Tawhida, not just today, but every day. In those lonely moments, in the days ahead, we need to let her know that she is not alone. We are her family now. Do you pledge with me right now? Do you vow that we will be with her? Yes! Let's say a prayer in our hearts for her and her son. We feel pain, but I remember the words of the Muslim Sufi poet Jalaluddin Rumi, who said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." So let us take this pain and heal it with light. Let's turn this pain into purpose. When you elected me and gave me the honor of being the first South Asian woman elected in this state, you asked me for one thing: to protect this community, to protect the Bangladeshi community. I have voted for every single law to end gun violence. And there's so much more to do. I want to ask you, when I'm in Albany fighting for laws to end crime, will you back me up? Yes! Will you be there for me? Yes! Together we will do it. The mayor has put out the blueprint to end gun violence. Are you going to join me in supporting it?
Yes!
It's been too much. In 2016, an imam in this very neighborhood was shot in broad daylight. In 2020, there was an assault that left a man bloody and beaten. We have had enough. It is time for bold measures to bring peace and safety to our community. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Justice! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Justice! Justice must be done. And I ask you also to please cooperate with our law enforcement conducting this investigation, with our mayor, with our police commissioner, until we have apprehended the criminal who is on the loose.
Yes!
Finally, we must love every day. Hate cannot drive out hate, my friends. Only love can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. And darkness cannot drive out darkness.
Yes!
So every day, in acts both small and big, let us love, and that will be our force. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer Rajkumar, for coming out and supporting the cause. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Mohammed Khan, Executive Director of COP-CP. Mohammed Khan, please come to the podium. He has been working tirelessly for the last few days to make this happen. Mohammed Khan, please come to the podium.
Assalamu alaikum. We have a lot of great people, community leaders, elected officials, and the NYPD officials here. I must start by thanking them all for not only standing by this community and the family, but also for all the work they do. I want to personally thank the 75th Precinct for all the relations they've been building with the community, the 102 Precinct and the 106 Precinct for working together to bring down crime and to be by our community. I want to ask you a question, and I want to ask this to the people who can make change in our city. Are we getting out of a pandemic into a virus of crime? Is that what's happening in our city? Where gun violence, where crime is taking our streets, just like the pandemic where coronavirus took our streets? When are we going to back our brothers in blue and say, do your job, and we're here with you, and we're gonna back you up for it? Because right now, when they go for justice, those same criminals are coming out. Just like he got shot, I bet you right now, this is not his first crime. It's definitely not. This area, we've seen so many repeating crimes. Same criminals being arrested 3, 4, 5 times, and they're back out on the street.
Seven times in the block.
Is that okay to you? Because it's not okay to me. And I don't want another brother or a sister or a child to be shot down in New York City streets ever again. So I'm here today, and I'm sorry to say there will probably be someone tomorrow in a podium offering their condolences again. We have to stand together against these illegal gun violence. We have to stand together and have our representatives stand in City Hall, stand in Assembly, stand in the state, and make our demands to make these streets safer. Because that's the only way we'll move forward. That's the only way we'll move forward. We cannot get out of a pandemic to fall into a pandemic of crime and criminals on the streets. Remember that. Have this family in your prayers. Don't be here today, but be there for them tomorrow and the next day and then on. Until that child grows up, we will be here and we'll be by them. Thank you.
Mr. Eric Dillon, Councilman. Councilman Eric Dillon, come here. He was the Assemblyman Eric Dillon. He was the first people who do that Mizanur Rahman when he died. He's the one who did all the leadership for the neighborhood. He was a councilman that time. Thank you, Eric, to be with us and say some word for us, for our neighborhood. You know that you are so long in our leader.
First, I want to start by saying my deepest condolences. I was in Albany when I heard the news and was devastated, and just wanted to come out and extend my support to the entire community and to feel your pain and to suffer alongside you. Like you said, you know, since 2001, I've been working alongside this community to deal with hate crimes, and we condemn hate crimes of all forms everywhere that they exist. And I will continue to work to make sure that this community remains safe from crimes of hate or crimes of opportunity. Like my colleague Jennifer Rajkumar, I too in Albany have voted to keep you safe by voting the right way on all gun laws to make it very, very strict to get a gun. And we need to work with our federal officials, mostly on the right, to keep illegal guns from flowing into our city. And we need to continue to work to make sure that all the resources that our community needs, like youth services, health services, housing, and all those other services that other elected officials have spoken about. And we need to work with the NYPD, but we also need to ensure that in City Hall and in Albany and in Washington, that the police department has the resources to keep this and all of our communities safe. So I stand with you, I stand with the family, and I'm open to doing subsequent meetings to make sure that the family gets everything that they need. And for this Masjid, what I will commit to you is I will go to Albany on Monday to see if we could get a snug grant for this Masjid to work together with the community and the police department to help this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.